What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Fitness Realty channel. My name is TJ McLelland and I'm the broker. I'm super excited to share all the things we have planned with you. So sit back, strap in, and let's have some fun. What's up, everybody? This is TJ McLelland, broker of Fitness Realty. I'm here to give you September's market update. So I was going to shoot it yesterday, the first day of September, and the day got a little out of control, so there was no way I could shoot that. But I'm excited to shoot this. This is the second day of September. That's a weird way to say that. This is September 2nd. So 2022, we're looking to get this market update. This is going to be UtahRealEstate.com. So I'm thankful for them and all of the material they always put together. There are a lot of realtors paying in their board dues. But UtahRealEstate.com, they do put out a lot of good analytic tools for us. And so I always want to try to give them the kudos that they deserve. So without further ado, let's kind of jump into this. So we've got number of listings entered. So this is residential listings. I usually don't do too much in the commercial space, so mostly this will be residential. Let me see if I can make that one step smaller. There we go. All right, so now you guys can see number of residential listings entered. You got 5 years worth of data or 5 graph lines worth of data. So you can kind of see we had this high point this year in June for number of residential listings entered into the MLS. And then you kind of see it tapered down. And then we've kind of hit the ballpark for July of, it looks a very similar of every year in the past 5 years. Past 4 years. I don't know how you want to say that. So you can kind of see we do have this trend line that just continues to show itself. I would imagine this trend line is nigh impossible to break. I'll bet other markets have different trend lines than this, but with us having pretty harsh winters, not so much recently in the past, the winters have been kind of simple and not too cold. And so I feel like a lot of people just hate moving. Of course, during the holidays, that kind of sucks. So the number of listings that are entered into kind of dwindle down. And then right around January, they start to spike back up. That is the natural volume of our market. You can kind of see there's some outlier months where they like rocketed up or spiked down. But we have this kind of natural looking turtle shell, if you want to call it that. So I don't think we'll ever go too far outside of this. I think that the market is so entrenched into the school year, holidays, and winter, and everything revolving around that I don't know if we'll ever break that. So we're looking average or just like normal on that. Let's take a look at just the raw numbers. So this is just those raw numbers, again, kind of based on the data up in the graph. I like the graph a lot better, so we'll skip over that. Now, this one's the interesting one that I like to show is the active residential listings per day. So you can kind of see this purple line rocketed up, right? A lot of people got nervous around the Fed rate hikes, so they wanted to list their homes. So they started listing. People lost their purchasing power. Inventory was staying stagnant. Now we've kind of leveled out. Okay, so we haven't really leveled out for very long. This July, end of July, middle of August. So you can kind of see we actually never crested over 10,000 listings. I could have sworn we were going to just crest over that. I wanted to see a 10,000 active listings on our market just for fun. We did not, however, see that. And so I'll bet we'll hover straight across for a little while. And then what you've seen on the graph previous to this, where it all kind of falls off and residential listings that are entered into start to come down, just the volume of them. So comparative to that, we're going to see this kind of trend down as well, just because there aren't going to be as many active listings entered. So it'll just kind of taper down a little bit. But it is kind of interesting to see such a wide gap between 2021 and 2022. And you guys know last year was one of the hottest real estate markets for sellers that I've ever seen in my whole life. And I don't know if we'll ever see something that crazy ever again. So that being said, that's why you see this big giant gap. We had zero inventory and so much price pressure that active listings were just popping off, going hot and getting picked up. All right, let's skip over that. So active listings in this graph, so you can see the average number of active residential listings per day. This is just a frame of reference so that you have the previous 4 years. So as you can tell, we hit the Fed rate hikes. Boom, we just leveraged up and went up like crazy to the active listings on market. And you can kind of see that we're trending with 2018 and 2019's years, right? Like right in the middle of this. We may even come down a little bit here, but it may actually just trend in the middle, which is interesting to see. So when it was 2018, 2019, it felt like a pretty good mix, right? Active listings, they had some time for buyers to see it. We didn't have to write ridiculous contracts. So I think that we're in a great place. Now, like I said, had we ever seen this purple line like skyrocket to 20,000 listings or something crazy, we definitely would have been in really big trouble then. But right now, you can see it. We're right where 2018, 2019 was, and we've leveled out. So I don't foresee us to continue to spike high. You can kind of see that in 2018, it did spike over 10,000 briefly in October. I just don't see that happening with our purple line right now, but that's just my thoughts. All right, under contract listings, of course, you guys have seen in the previous market updates, this purple line has just fallen down. Everyone has lost their purchasing power with the Fed rate hikes and then the mortgage rates. So that's why you can see that. And the interesting thing is, I think there's a back on market data for this graph. There are a lot of contracts that go active and then the listings that go active, they get under contract and then something falls through and they come back to market. So that's happening more and more frequently in our time. Number of contract residential listings per day, per month. Of course, you can see that purple line's just trending downward. Like I said, that's just because everybody lost their purchasing power. So you can see, though, that we're not too far off from 2018 and 2019. So I feel like the market was in a hot rocketing up scenario because the Fed was pumping in a lot of money into the system. And then once it dialed it back and the Fed rate hikes have dialed that back, we've kind of just gone back to a 2018, 2019 scenario, which during that time, it wasn't bad. It was kind of a great market. Buyers and sellers both had leverage on each side. I think the deals looked good during that time. That's just my personal 2 cents. Active no-show residential listings per day. This is this weird new category. This is what that used to be called off-market. So off-market used to be somebody had to list it, but they weren't ready to show it. So this is just active, but they're not showing it yet properties. So you can see that just rocketed way up. I think that's just because people were getting listings ready to list, and now people have got them on market, but no showings yet. So, I mean, they're not taking showings, right? It's not that nobody's seen it. It's that they're not taking showings for the public yet. I feel like that category is really weird. I kind of wish they had something different than that, but I don't have a suggestion for that yet. Let's skip over that weird category, like I said. So sold listings, you can kind of see we flatlined across March, April, May, June because of the Fed rate hikes, of course. Then we went down in July. I really feel like it was just that the market was trending, the cooling period. Then people really started realizing that it was down. We didn't get much action in July. And then August had a little uptick, of course, which was kind of interesting to see that because we actually did jump up in average home price a little bit at the end of August. I'll be able to show you that when we get there. Back to market listings, like I said, these ones are the ones that go under contract and then come back to market. So you can kind of see we had a real big spike as everybody lost their purchasing power. Every new build contract that I had during that time, my buyers were like, oh crap, we don't qualify anymore. So we actually had a lot of cancellations as well on our staff. Not just my personal clients, of course. And then you can see we've kind of flatlined. There's always going to be this back to market criteria or back to market data. And that's just because contracts do fall through all the time. You could have somebody that gets under contract and it has nothing to do with finances and they back out. Those are the same. Like they're not broken out to be finance reasons or appraisal reasons or inspection reasons, right? It just says, hey, this came back to market. So you're always going to have a level of these back to market listings. All right, that's the end of that one. Let's see. I'm going to share this tab now. So this is the sales per month report. I'm just going to show you Salt Lake County really quick. And then we're going to show Tooele County really fast because I have some of our viewers that want me to do a deeper dive into Tooele County, I guess. Let's go on the average home price. So right now we've got selected Salt Lake County. So we're going to do Salt Lake County's average home price. I'm going to show you where that jumped up this month. And it did jump up just a little bit. All right, just for fun, you can see September 2017, our average sold home price was $331,000. So this is why I always like to tell everybody it's a great time to buy real estate because in the long run, you're going to be sitting really pretty because 2017, that was only 5 years ago, 331 average home price. Today, minus September, don't look at September's because the data, there's not enough data points to really make that happen. So let's look at the end of August. the average home price was $607,000. So you've pretty much seen almost a virtual double from 5 years ago in average home price. And to me, that just means the dollar got a lot weaker because there are so many more dollars in the system. But that's neither here nor there. That's just me on my soapbox. And so you can really see that driving that market from 331 to 607 was pretty huge in 5 years. But this is the one thing that I wanted to show. From July to August, you did have it go from 601 to 607. So this is roughly a 1% increase. So you saw a 1% increase from July to August, which is pretty big. Typically in real estate markets, you've seen a 3 to 4% a year increase in value. That's not the case right now, of course, right? Because you did see, let's just start with May. You were 646 down to 631. That was probably 3%. Then 631 to 601, that was probably 4%. So you're really 7 or 8% lost in 60 days. And then you jump up 1% from 601 to 607. So in total, in the last 90 days or so, you've probably gone down about 5.5–6%. You guys can do the calculations, and I'm probably pretty close, but a little bit wrong. All right, let's do a little deeper dive into Tooele County. I want to showcase this a little bit. And I'm pulling Tooele County with everything in it, so we don't really specify single family, condos, townhomes. We could, but I just don't want to get too nitty gritty. So you can kind of see September 2017, 260 was the average home price, all the way up to 512. And so, right, don't look at September. There's not enough data points for that. We're only 2 days in. So if we look at the end of August, we went all the way to 512, which is a virtual doubling, very close to just like Salt Lake County. So I've had a lot of people talk about buying in Tooele County, and they're like, well, it's not growing as fast as Salt Lake County. And that might be the case right now where it doesn't look like that, but Tooele County did the same volume in 5 years in price that Salt Lake County did. It just started a little lower, ended a little lower. So what's interesting to me is you have a lot of people saying Tooele is kind of podunk or whatever, but seriously, the average home price in Tooele County right now is $500,000, so it's not podunk. So anyway, let's kind of break that down a little bit more. So you can kind of see the high was 528 in May, went down in June. That's probably about a 4% decline. And then down in July, that's probably another 4.5% maybe. So maybe 9% total. But you can see right back in August, it jumped up another 35,000, which is probably 5%. So you're down like 4 or 5, down another 4 or 5. So you're maybe, let's call it 9. Then you went back up 5. So you really only lost 4 in the last 90 days. So that's why I'm saying, like, everything is relative to the market right now, where timing the market is so hard. Nobody knew that in August we were going to jump up in value. My predictions were that we were going to continue to downtrend. So it's just really hard to predict. That's why what I say, and a lot of professionals, I'm just reiterating what they say, but timing the market is so hard, but time in the market helps you become financially wealthy. You can definitely see that. Like I said, just buy something in 2017, didn't matter what it was, hold it. You were double what you'd put into it in 5 years. So there's nothing else that I've seen that can do that. I mean, you could gamble on the crypto market and maybe see some gains like that, but I don't promote trying to time the market in that either. So anyway, all right. Well, that was the market update for September. I love you guys. I think that the real estate market in Utah is very, very protected. I think that we're going to look good for a long time. Something that I do want to kind of plug in here is that if you are looking to just have somebody look at your finances to see if home purchasing is viable, we have ways to do that and to get you on a path to home ownership. And honestly, I just love to promote that because, well, one, of course, I make money in this business, but number two is if I can help you become successful in your real estate transactions, then you just gain a whole heap of knowledge, wealth, and you'll tell somebody about us. Because all the people that I've helped close in 2017, they're sitting on double the equity they had. So that's not a bad day. So if you were a renter during 2017 all the way to 2022, you missed out on pretty much double the equity you could have had in something. And it didn't matter what it was. You could have bought a condo that was $75,000, and if it doubled to $150,000, that's another $75,000 that you didn't have in life. And so I feel like if I can get you to talk to us and to get coaching or mentoring from me, or somebody on my staff and then talk to one of the lenders that we have, we can get you on a warpath to success. Anyway, I love you guys, and we'll see you next time. This has been September's Market Update. I am TJ McLelland, the broker of Fitness Realty. I love you, and we'll see you. And that's a wrap. Thank you so much for supporting us. We'll see you next time, and we love you. Later.